Hello, my name is McKenna Quinn, and I am a biology with an emphasis in physiology major, and I'm also on the pre-physician's assistant track. What I'm hoping to do with my career is to work at a hospital or in a family practice as a PA. So there was some things that I was kind of like not sure that were gonna really fit in with this class, but as I wrote my essays and kind of discussed these topics, I learned that there is a lot that connects with being a PA or just a healthcare provider in general to developmental psych. So we started with, pre-birth and how things before you're even born can affect your development. So I kind of focused on like illnesses that pregnant women can get, pathogens that can affect them, and how that affects the development of their unborn child. So there's quite a few of them. I only touched on a couple. Some examples are the cytomegalovirus and gonorrhea. They can cause pretty serious defects and can affect them for the rest of their lives, or even cut their life short. So that's pretty important. And then when we discussed young children, I kind of looked at how young children can have mental illnesses and how that can affect how they develop mentally, socially, and physically. And then I also looked at hearing and visual impairments, and it was kind of interesting to see just how much their development and their life could be affected by these impairments, mostly in a social aspect, but also in some other aspects. And then it's kind of a special case for people or for children with chronic illnesses, looking at their development and how they can still develop while having such a short lifespan and knowing that they're going to have such a short lifespan. So I kind of touched on that as well. And so then moving on to adolescents and teens, I focused on eating disorders, and obviously there's a physical development is impacted greatly. Social plays a big role as well in their social development due to currently social media a lot, and then their body image, which is also in accordance with their mental development. And disorders like anorexia or bulimia can decrease learning abilities and decrease emotional stability and increase chances for depression and anxiety, or be caused by either or. So after that, I looked at college students and stress, very applicable, and there's just a lot of physical aspects that I kind of was taken aback by. So up to this point, college students are developing, and whatever happens in our past leads to how we act and perceive things right now currently. And so some people get more stressed out than other people. Some it's genetic, some it's learned. But how stressed you are and how you deal with stress does greatly impact your physical, emotional, social, and other types of development. So that was pretty important to see. And then looking at adulthood, I mainly focused on like physical ailments and like how they decline as you get older, and also looking at like illnesses and diseases that older people can contract or develop or have always had, and how it can affect a development due to decreased financial stability with the cost of treatment, and social ability, such as not being able to do sports anymore or to go out and have drinks due to stuff like kidney failure. So specific diseases I did look at for that was type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and things like liver failure and so on. And so I think my favorite one I looked at was kind of discussing end-of-life care, because that is like extremely applicable to what I'm going into. And so I kind of focused on like the different types of end-of-life care, such as nursing homes or comfort care or stuff like that. And it was just interesting to see like how being in different situations or settings can affect like end of life development. So like being in a nursing home increases social life and their societal and social development, but can decrease like their self-worth and their sense of independence. So just kind of looking at that was really interesting for me and kind of like gave me perspective for it in the future. I'll be able to kind of like understand when suggesting certain things for different patients, like what like the drawbacks, the pros and cons are of each. So yeah, I came into this class not expecting it to apply to my career quite as much as it did, but I definitely think that using these essays and kind of like going into and like forcing yourself to apply really does like show you how many connections there are. So yeah, I really enjoyed this class and I really am impressed with how much it applies, how much more it applies than I thought it did. So yeah, have a great summer and glad I got to meet you.